What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we are going to take a look at an old figure. This is the Blurg from Mandalorian, and look at this massive box. And you guys might be asking, why? Why did you even buy this now? This is like 3 years ago or something. Well, I'll tell you why. It's on sale. It's currently like $180 at Big Bad Toy Store, so it's like 40% off. And look at this massive box. I've always wanted to have him and Quill. And right now, if you purchase them separately, they're like $320 or $330. So it's fairly cheap for two figures. You know I'm a big fan of diorama. And let's unbox this guy. And I treat him like a massive diorama piece. A diorama piece is like that kitchen from The Lord of the Rings is $180 in him by himself. It doesn't even include the tariff charge yet from M Toys. This is a Hot Toys figure slash, diorama piece. So if you put it that way, you're getting, two things in one. And I was like, okay, I like I said, for $330 or $340, I think his original price, I wouldn't recommend this. It's a massive hunk of plastic. But for $180, why not? I mean, look at this Brock right here. Initially, and this rock could serve as a good diorama piece for photography. And initially, I thought it was the same as Thanos, but it's not. It's larger. It has more texture on it. It does have those two prongs, compared to the Thanos one. But, if you're using it as a background for picture, you can easily remove them. You can use the heal tool. But like I said earlier, I don't mind buying those rocks because it helps from my photography to set off the mood. And for $180, you get I can consider this a figure, a vehicle, or, with Star Wars with a dewback and all that stuff. It's somewhat in the same category, maybe not as iconic as the dewback. But again, for $180, for under $200, you get just the rock base itself. Maybe if you buy that from, somebody who parts it out, they'll probably sell it for $50, $60, maybe even more. So just this guy himself, and he looks like a big piranha. I don't mind. Look at those teeth. The paint application, the gums and the tongue. The paint application is good. It's just like a normal Hot Toys that you would get. So in that sense, you won't have any issues with it whatsoever. The eyes, you can see the gloss out of it. You see some pleather materials, which is, not always welcome, but what do you expect from Hot Toys? There is some, real metal things in there. There's texture, a lot of like spotting on this creature, and this is him, mostly secured with his stand slash diorama. Like I said, I'm going to use this diorama for a lot of my photography. And the mouth does not move. I thought it would have, but it doesn't. The hands also does. The legs does, but this is what you can basically do. Basically tilt him up and down. So there's not a whole lot of articulation with this creature. But he doesn't need to. Maybe the mouth, would have been nice, but this is basically this is like a bat pod. You use this so Mando or Quill can ride on him. Now that tranq gun does not come with him. I just want to showcase that it's magnetized. It's magnetic. So if you have Quill, which I bought Quill separately, because you save money using that way. Look at him standing on the base. Those two were on my, I wouldn't say wish list, but my watch list. Like if it reaches a certain number, I'll go ahead and buy it. And it did. $150 for Quill, $180 for him. So it's like $320, $330 for both of them. Shipped without tax. But I was like, you know what? I can deal with that. A regular Hot Toys nowadays is around $300. And I'm getting this entire set. It feels like a deal to me. That was the price point that I was willing to pay. Would I want it to be lower? Yes. Do I expect it to be lower? I don't think so. Like, I don't know if they can sell this for $120. It's a massive hunk. They already lost money on shipping, I bet you, because it's already like I paid 180. The shipping is $4. They were on my pile of loot, so I like 4 figures. I paid $4 for shipping. So I mean, like this guy by itself is huge. I'm telling you, it feels like I got a quarter scale, figure slash statue. And look at him with right next to this is my old Mandalorian. Ideally you want the first version, but I don't have that, and I'm not gonna buy that because if you buy that, it's also on sale. I think that's around, if you don't have any Mandalorian yet, the Dura Steel version, I believe that's around $370, which is you get a Mando and the Blurg, and then if you want to, you can buy Quill separately. So for all 3 figures, you're paying like close to 600. 3 figures. That is not a bad deal. Now I love the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, so and I understand that the figures from that line tanked. Maybe they made so many, and it's a buyer's market when it comes to these figures. And this is him with Quill again. But I've always, like I said, have an eye on them. Like, hey, if it reaches this price, I'm gonna get it, because again, Mando still holds a special place in my heart. Like this. It's a franchise that introduced me basically to Star Wars, and I'm saying that as somebody who grew up watching the trilogy, but in the prequel, but I never really got into Star Wars up until Mando. I don't know why. I don't have any explanation why, but Mando kind of like was the catalyst for me to start collecting and really dive into, the Star Wars world. Now we're talking about the value, and this shot right here, I just want to show you that he can stand without the base, because I intend on using the base somewhere else. But I think I talked about the value enough. If this was 340, you won't see me making this video, because I think I would be overpaying for that. This is basically a big, what do you call that, Funko Pop. And for 180, I'm okay with that. It has some weight to it, but not that heavy. I don't want it to be too heavy anyway. But it's nice. It is really nice. And if you're a Mando fan, you can ask yourself, why not? I bought third parties that are more expensive than him. At the end of the day, he's still made by Hot Toys. At the end of the day, he's still Mandalorian. And even though it was a brief moment that he was on the screen, it's still on that realm, And again, for the right price, for what you're paying for, I think you're getting a pretty decent deal. Now, if you happen to, let's say, buy him, and then you realize, man, he's too big. I just got nowhere to put him. If you bought it for 180, I think you can easily sell this, maybe even on Facebook Marketplace, and take a hit. Now you're not taking a big hit, because I think you can sell this easily for 140, 150. So now you're taking maybe $30, $40 loss, but that's nothing compared to the loss that we're taking nowadays with, if you are selling a Hot Toys. Now, I'm not planning on selling this, I bought it to keep it. But I'm just saying, in case that happens, then even if you're taking a loss, it's not massive. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this figure? Any plans of picking it up? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.